Happy morning, children. Welcome back to the biology class. Today we are here to discuss about the human nervous system. As children, you all are aware that a living organism, plants, animals, and human being, they come across with different various life processes in their day-to-day life. A living organism would not survive without life process. So what is life process? Let me define. Life process, I said. Life process. A living organism come across with various life processes. Without the life process, a living organism would not survive. So what is life process? How can we define this term life process? The process which promote the life for further existence. I repeat, life process can be defined as the process which promote the life for further existence. For example, you can take circulation of blood in the body, production and secretion of hormones by the glands, endocrine and exocrine glands of the body, photosynthesis in plant, nutrition of food, intake of food, giving birth to the new young one by a living organism. These all are, we can take example as life process. So what is this here? The title of the lesson today we are here to discuss is the human nervous system. As we know, a living organism, including human being, they have an ability to respond to the change. They have an ability to respond to the stimulus. So before that, we must know what is stimulus. Stimulus. Stimulus and response. What is stimulus and what is response? This is clear, children. Life process. So this is one of the life process. The nervous system, human nervous system is one of the life process we have taken here to discuss. So what is life process? The process which promote the life for further existence. A living organism would not survive without life process. So human nervous system is one of the life process, is it? So now here in human nervous system, every system, a human body itself, we call it as an organ system because it is composed of various organs. Heart is there, which is responsible for pumping of the blood. When it pumps the blood gets circulates, it flows throughout the body from superior vena cava to inferior vena cava. Superior vena cava means the top body parts, upper body parts, and inferior vena cava the lower body organs. So that is done by, so the circulatory system is composed of blood, heart and blood vessels. Excretory system. When we talk about excretory system, another life process. The elimination, removal of nitrogenous waste from the body. The nitrogenous waste which is formed in our body, it has to be removed at regular frequent interval. If that nitrogenous waste which is formed in the body, if it is not removed, what happens? For the long time, if it remains inside the body, further it turns into a toxic substance. Therefore, it has to be removed at regular interval. So during excretion, what happens? Removal, elimination of nitrogenous waste which are formed in the body as a result of several metabolic activity. That is done. Who will do that work? Removal, nitrogenous waste, removal, kidneys. So excretory system involves or contains or composed of pair of kidneys. From each kidney a tube comes out, we call it as uterus, like this. The bean-shaped pair of kidneys will do. From each kidney a tube opens out, is it? We call this tube as uterus. Then this unite in a bladder, urethra, urinary bladder, like this. So this is the excretory system composed of. The circulatory system is composed of heart, blood and blood vessel. And the nutrition Nutrition system is composed of all the digestive related organs. Like that, reproductive system, when it comes to reproduction, also one of the life process. As we have taken this nervous system as a life process, there are various life processes are there. A living organism come across. As circulatory system enable the living organism, all the organs present in the body, they are far away from each other, is it? They are not in one place together. So the organs, the tissues which are far away from the body, they have to receive required amount of food and nutrients. Then the blood, during its flow, during its circulation, all the organs which are far away from the body, they receive enough required amount of nutrients and food as well as oxygen. So circulatory system help to supply those things. Nutrition system help to conversion of macromolecules of food into micro, the process of obtaining food by an organism, that we study in nutrition system or nutrition we call. During excretory system, process removal of nitrogenous waste from the body. Now here, these are the life processes: circulatory system, excretory system, nutrition, reproductive system. During reproduction, what happens? The living organism gives birth to the new and one of same species. Why we have to mention that? The process of giving birth to the new and one by an organism of same species. That means at last, when we conclude the definition of reproduction, we have to mention, we have to quote that of same species. As dog gives birth to dog, cat gives birth to cat, horse gives birth to horse, human being gives birth to human being. It doesn't mean that donkey gives birth to monkey, is it? Therefore, we have to mention that reproduction is a life process in which a living organism gives birth to its new and one of same species. So, reproductive system, circulatory system, excretory system, nutrition system, these are all example of a life process. So, here we have to discuss another life process, that is nervous system. As circulatory system help to supply the required amount of water, oxygen, nutrients to the various tissue. Reproductive system help enable the organism to continue the races of life generation after generation. So what does the nervous system help? The nervous system enable the living organism to respond to the change. What is stimulus here? Stimulus is any kind of change. The change we notice, the change we come across in our day-to-day life. Any kind of we come across with various number of changes in our day-to-day life. Temperature, cold, hot, fever, sound, vision, is it? So any kind of change in the surrounding is stimulus. When a living organism come across with any change, stimulus, that living organism have an ability to respond, react to the change. That is what? Response. Reacting to the change, showing response to the change. Any stimulus is applied on my body. Suppose somebody calls me. The moment I hear the sound, immediately I look at that. I will turn that. That the moment I hear the sound, that is stimulus. And after hearing the sound, when I look at that particular direction, that is what? Response. So living organism have an ability to respond to the change, showing responses to the change, stimulus. So any living organism, they show responses to the change, responding to the stimulus. This ability in the living organism is present due to this system. So we call this system as a human nervous system. Hope you are clear with this. As circulatory system help to pump the blood, flow the blood, is it? Excretory system help to for the removal of nitrogenous waste from the body. Similarly, the nervous system enable the living organism to respond to the change, respond to the stimulus. A living organism have an ability to respond to any different kind of changes due to presence of this system. So we call this as a nervous system. So today we are going to discuss about in detail about this life process, the nervous system. As children, the circulatory system is composed of heart, blood and blood vessel. Excretory system is composed of kidney, uterus, urethra, urinary bladder. Like that, the nervous system is mainly composed of these things. What are the things the nervous system is composed of? Nerves, brain and spinal cord. Actually, this nervous system, human nervous system has main three divisions. Okay, CNS, central nervous system, and first we can take CNS, central nervous system. PNS, peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, and ANS, autonomous nervous system. These are the divisions of this nervous system. Nervous system is further divided into these three divisions. CNS, central nervous system. PNS, peripheral nervous system. ANS, autonomous nervous system. So these are, as I told you, the nervous system is composed of these three things, such as nerves, brain and spinal cord. These three are the components of what? CNS, central nervous system. The central nervous system is composed of these three things, children. So these we'll discuss later. Peripheral nervous system and autonomous nervous system. Today's class will discuss in detail about the CNS, central nervous system. And the central nervous system, what are the components of central nervous system? These three: nerves, brain and spinal cord. Watch it. So sorry, just a moment, I'll take the rest. So children, here is mentioned CNS. The CNS, central nervous system, is composed of these three things: nerves, brain and spinal cord. Now, these three are the components of central nervous system: nerves, brain and spinal cord. These all three, nerves, brain and spinal cord, they are maybe the structural and functional unit of all these three organs is nerve cell, or we can call it as neuron. Nerve cell or neuron. Don't get confused, children. Here there is a lot of difference between nerves and nerve cell. You know, kidneys, the cells present in the kidney we call nephron. What we call? Nephron. Nephrons are the structural and functional unit of kidney. Alveoli are the structural and functional unit of lungs. Corpuscles are the structural and functional unit of blood. Epithelial, skin, is it? And this one, hepatocytes or hepatic cells are the structural and functional unit of liver. See here, the cells present in the liver we call them hepatic cells. Which cells are present in the liver? Hepatic cells or hepatocytes. Which cells? The cells present in the skin we call epithelial cells. Cells present in the blood we call them corpuscles. The blood cells are called corpuscles. Cells present in the lungs we call alveoli. Cells present in the kidney we call nephrons. In the same way, cells present in all these three organs. These three organs, which cell is present in this? We call the cells present in the nerve what are nerves? They are a thin wire-like, cable-like network. Thin wires are present in the body. There are mainly 12 pairs of cranial nerves will be, and 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Children, these are the cable-like network. For example, cranial nerves which arises from the, suppose this is the brain. The nerves which are arising from the brain are called cranial nerves. Which nerves we call? Cranial nerves. And the spinal cord, this is in spinal cord. The nerves, 31 pairs of nerves arises from the spinal cord. We call them the spinal nerves. So spinal nerves are how many? There are 31 pairs. A thin wire-like network arises from the spinal cord, and further it is connected to the various organs of our body like this. So there are 31 pairs in them. Spinal nerves are how many? 31 pairs. And the nerves which are arising from the brain are 12 pairs. We call them cranial nerves. So these nerves will be. So nerves are a network like this. They are made with cells. So which cells are present in the nerve? Nerve cell, or we call it as neuron. Another organ of the central nervous system, that is brain. Brain also made of cells called nerve cell, or we call it as neuron. What is the structural functional unit of nerves? Nerves are made with this cell. What is the structural and functional unit of brain? Brain is also made with this cell. Spinal cord of our body, that is also made with this cell. So neuron or nerve cell is the structural and functional unit of nervous system. The organs which are involved, which are associated with the nervous system, like nerves, brain, spinal cord, these all components, these all organs are made with this cell. That cell we call as nerve cell or neuron. So let us discuss how the nerve cell. The children, generally any cell of our body, every part, every tissue, every component, every organ of our body is composed with cell we call. But cell we cannot see. Is it visible? No. The skin, every part, every organ of our body is made of cell. But we may not be able to see it because of its microscopic nature. Cells are only able to see when they are observed under high power electron microscope. When the nerve cells, neurons are observed under microscope, how they look, that structure we will discuss now. The structure of nerve cell or neuron. Neuron or nerve cell is a structural and functional unit of nervous system, because what are the organs? All organs like nerves, brain, spinal cord, which are associated with this CNS, central nervous system, they are all composed with, they are made with this cell. Therefore, we must aware completely thorough with the structure, how it looks when we observe it under microscope. Structure of nerve cell, or we can call it as neuron. See, structure of the nerve cell or neuron. Children, when the neuron nerve cell is observed under microscope, it shows in cell body or cyton we can call it. This part of the nerve cell we call it as cyton, or this can be called as cell body. What it is? Cyton or cell body. Around this cell body, it gives several branches. These kind of branches will be arising from the cell body. And these branches which are arising around the cell body or cytosol, we call them dendrites. What we call them? Dendrites. How the dendrites are arising around the cell body? A long fiber also arises. A very long fiber arises from the cell body. This long fiber which is arising from the cell body of this neuron, this is called axon. What it is called? Axon. And the axon is further covered with a box-like structures like this. The axon of this neuron further covered with a box-like structures, and these box-like structures present over the axon of the neuron we call as myelin sheath. Myelinated sheath. The boxes, and these boxes which are called myelinated sheath, they are leaving a gap at regular interval. The gap, the space left by this myelinated sheath, we call it as nodes of Raichur. What is this gap is called? Nodes of Raichur. And at the center there will be a dense spot in the cell body cytosol. This we call as nucleus. And around the nucleus we could find several dots in the cytoplasm of this nerve cell. These dots are called granules. Which granules? Nasal granules. Several dots present in the cell body of the nerve cell are called nasal granules. At the end, this axon, the long fiber which is arising from the cell body, this axon is giving nerve endings. These branches and down below at the end are called nerve ending. Nerve endings. We call them nerve endings, or nerve terminals also can be called these. So children, this is a structure of nerve cell or neuron. When the neuron is observed under a microscope, it shows this structure. It will have a cell body or cyton. The cyton or cell body of the nerve cell has a nucleus at the center. Around that are several dots, nasal granules. These nasal granules, what they produce? Neurotransmitter chemical they produce. What they produce? Neurotransmitter, a chemical which is required for the nerve cell to generate the nerve impulse. What is nerve impulse? When any stimulus is applied on the body, a small electric potential is generated. That small electric potential generated by the nerve cell, when any stimulus is applied on our body, that electric potential is called as nerve impulse. To generate the nerve impulse, what is required? Neurotransmitter. The neurotransmitter chemical, which is most commonly neurotransmitter in the nerve cell, is acetylcholine. Acetylcholine is the most common neurotransmitter synthesized, produced by the nasal granules of nerve cell. So with the help of these nasal granules, dots present in the cytoplasm of the nerve cell, helpful to produce synthesis neurotransmitter acetylcholine. Production occurs. These dendrites will be there, and a long fiber which is arising, that we call axon. Axon is further covered with box-like structures are called myelinated sheath. These myelinated sheath prevent the leakage of nerve impulse. What is the role? What is the function of these myelinated sheath? They prevent the leakage of nerve impulse. Suppose this neuron is generating nerve impulse, the nerve impulse will not be allowed further to leak out. It is protected. And there are some neurons which are unmyelinated. The axon of the neuron do not have this myelinated sheath. Such neuron, such nerve cell is called unmyelinated neuron. So this is the general structure of nerve cell, children. The further types, based on the functions, neurons are of different type. Based on the structure, neurons or nerve cells are of different type. That we'll discuss in our further next class. Now, today this is enough. We'll stop here now. Thank you, children.